Captain Larry Bell with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
All the way down here in Sept.10 Bay, long run down here to Cedar Lake. All this shoreline down here, then the little lake back in here. Work all this area against the mangroves. Wade all this area here. It's nice, wadeable, good bottom. Good amount of bait working back in this area out on the shoreline here. Throw your topwater early. Topwater's being responsive for the redfish. They are coming to it and they are attacking it and they're eating it up and enjoying and having fun with it. Throw a darker down south once that bite starts to kind of fizzle out a little bit and they're not coming to it quite as much. Just go to a little bit more suspended bait or down south. Let that bait get down just a little bit more. Let it get down to them and they'll continue to eat that thing. The bite's been good down in here. Pay attention. Really pay attention to your majors and minors and your tidal flow in this area down here. It's a big part of the bite that goes on. If you start seeing that bait kind of fizzle out a little bit, then it's probably time to move on. Over here in Mesquite, along this shoreline here, work this little back lake that drains out of here, another back lake that drains down here. There's a bunch of little coves and little corners here where you got some nice fish that are working up in this area. Trout and redfish are working here. This one little deep back lake that's here on this corner, there has been an alligator that's been hanging out there, so just be aware of that. If you come rolling up in there and you see him sitting there, you might want to just keep on going. Continue to work down this shoreline. Look for your redfish and trout, probably waist deep to thigh deep water there. The regular size down south, darker color in the green, magic grass color has worked really well. The burner shads, purple rain, chicken of the sea have worked really well through this area. On around this point, just be patient in here, pay attention to your wind, pay attention to your bait and your tides, see what's going on there, and you'll find some good fish hanging in this area. Sundown Bay, all back in this area here. Either against the shoreline, closer to the intercoastal, out in the middle. Just work your area here. Look for your bait working. Look for that bait real hard. That's where you're going to find your fish. They're going to be up underneath it. There has been a few rafting mullets that are coming through this area here. Topwater baits work pretty good. A tidal flow going up and down there. You've got some fish that are coming up out of that intercoastal, come up on this big flat here, eating and then dropping back off. So just work that edge, the back edge as well, and the middle. Again, it's just find your bait and see where they're primarily working at. That's where your fish are going to be holding. The darker down south in magic grass and salt sassy have worked pretty good here. Topwater bait's working here. Double D. Double D's worked pretty good here as well. If that topwater bite goes away, pull that double D out and start working that thing all through this water column here. The real good action and flash on the side of that bait has produced some nice redfish and trout. Dunham shoreline, all down through here right next to the old intercoastal, running down through here around this point here. Getting this little edge out here on this reef, up in this little cove back in here. Be careful, it gets kind of mushy back in there in that one spot. But you come on around, work all that shell in there. There's been some nice trout hanging in this area here. Down south, magic grass has worked the absolute best here. And the burner shad and either the chicken of the sea or the purple rain have worked absolute best here. Anything else hasn't gotten very much attention or very good results. Those baits right there have been really good. Also, the Marker 54 mullet run has worked pretty good in here, but the other two baits have worked the best. Swan Lake shoreline again, all down through here. Once you get down here close to these little mouths, the inlets that go back into Swan Lake, work all that area there deeper early on. That edge out there on that grass line, throwing your darker down south here. The supermodel's been working pretty good here for some good trout. There's a lot of little trout that are hanging in this area. Really be patient with it. Yeah, you're going to catch a bunch of fish, but there's going to be a lot of them that are in that 13 to 14 to 15 inch range. Just hang in there for about every 10th or 12th fish you'll catch. You'll catch a quality 17 or 18 inch trout off this edge out here. Once that trout bite kind of goes away, come back in here in Swan Lake. Wait this back shoreline here. Break your topwater out and throw it. Get right up there on that shoreline in about knee-deep water and start working that. You'll see bait working in here, and when you start seeing that bait working, that's where you really need to concentrate that topwater, because there's going to be some nice redfish that are hanging back in here. There hadn't been any monsters. but there's been some nice mid-slot to lower slot redfish that are back in here, which will give you a lot of fun on topwater.
Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Larry Bell.